And now he froze. That's really cool. Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you guys are here. Either he froze or I froze, so I don't know who's frozen. It could be me. You never know. But I'm glad that you were here. We're late, as always, having lots of meetings and things going on, but we are sure glad that you have joined us today. How was your Monday? How was your weekend? Are you full swing summer, or where are you? What's happening? I gotta mute some stuff so or I'll hear myself in my ears and it'll drive me nuts.
You
Um,
sound great, though.
Thank you. You froze. I don't know where you went, but I was
I
like, all
don't know.
right, just keep the show going.
You're doing great. You're doing great. If I was listening in and just holding my breath, I would say that you were doing great.
Were you listening in and holding your breath? No, because your
I w-
signal went.
I wouldn't do that even if I knew how. It's so it's so good to be here on Monday. I'm sorry you're hearing yourself. I heard yourself
No,
echo. Is that like some audio out you're having there?
I had flicked into YouTube really quick to make sure that it wasn't me frozen and it was you frozen or whatever that was. So then I
Mm-hmm.
was hearing the echo of YouTube in my ears coming through as we're live. So I was like, wait, I gotta mute
Oh,
YouTube. So that's what happened. I was muting
I
YouTube.
I was.
There's
it sounds a
Amy.
little. It sounds a little bit like what we were talking about earlier with aliens as a logo,
Yeah,
and we could call YouTube the mutant because you just said mutant the YouTube,
muting
and
the
what I heard
YouTube.
was mutant the YouTube.
That's what it was. That was me.
So question one of the day for Amy and anybody else who might be watching. First of all, thank you. We're super stoked that you're here. I came up with a new name for everything today. Apologies. But we are here on Money Monday. It is July. I can't see. What day is it? The 10th?
10th of July.
The 10th of July. I am Bree, and this is.
Brie. Apparently, we're both Brie today. It's a Brie kind of day. I don't know what to tell you.
It's nothing like a little extra Breeness in your life. I'm going
There
to
you
change
go.
my name. I am Trevor, and we are both co founders and co hosts of this numOspect thing. We are also called Numerous Perspectives. We are, again, very grateful you're here today. We have a bunch of things, not really, we have a few things to go over. We have a short time, so we're going to get right after it. We have a little bit of creator not news to go over. I got to really get more smooth because I start to say news and then I like stop saying it, and then it sounds so dumb. Can you say creator not news and have it not come out of your mouth weird, Bree? Experiment.
Creator not news.
Oh yeah, you did a lot better. Every single time my brain tries to stop me from
But
saying
every time I hear it in my brain, I see knot tying on a sailboat somewhere. I don't know why, because it's like knot news. There's a new knot that you can use on your sailboat now. I
there's a
harkening back to my sailing days. I don't know what that's about.
there's a new not news you can use here on your not news here with us at not news.
Yep,
Please don't bring your news.
it's not news.
It's not, but it is relevant. So we'll go over a little not news. That was a slam dunk.
Thank you.
We will go through a little bit of creator not news from Jim Louderbeck, who's a new person in our life, but a really inspiring piece. So we'll blast through that, and then Bree, I think you have a little bit of Nexus update, and then we'll do a little bit of really exciting money stuff at the end. So today's not going to be as focused directly on money. We're going to talk a lot about resources with Jim's news and with a Nexus related to creator money in general. But then at the end, we have a couple of products that we are now working with that I think will be helpful to you, which we're really excited to talk about. So let's hop right in. I'm going to try to share the screen. You said you hadn't had a chance to check out the LinkedIn yet, correct, Bree? So this will be new to you as
It'll
well.
be not news, but it'll be new.
It won't be totally new, but it will be relevant because we did talk about it already.
He did, but I haven't seen it. But it's not new.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can pull this up here and not break all of this. So Jim Louderbeck, to jump right in, is apparently like an industry
CJ.
guy. Like
Sorry.
he's been around. Oh yeah, no worries. That's CJ Gilbert. This segment. sponsored not by CJ. This is Jim Louderbeck. I'm going to skip right to the part that I think will be most intriguing before I tell you what his opinions are. So before you get too high on somebody's opinions, maybe check their job history if you can. Just a little tidbit. It's not always relevant, but it sometimes is. And in this case, Jim was the CEO of somebody I've never heard of, and then he was the GM of Discovery Digital Networks, like the Discovery Channel, the Discovery Communications, which is the organization that owns the Discovery Channel, like it's above them. He was real important with them back before it was cool in 2012. And then he did a bunch of stuff that I never heard of, and then he ended up at VidCon. And he helped be the CEO and the GM for 8 years before they sold out to Paramount. I'm sure he made a boatload of money, which as a creator is cool. Not because it's just cool to make money, but as a creator, the dude made it to the top and then he sold. Like, that's amazing. That's, I think, all of our goals. If we ever have to sell, it's when we're on top, because he definitely did that with VidCon, and he sold to Paramount. He helped them transition, it looks like, for 4 or 5 years. And then he's kind of been freewheeling since then. And now he's been doing this creator. I haven't followed it yet. My bad. He's been doing this creator economy newsletter, and it's definitely the best newsletter I've ever read. So, and I don't say that as a negative to anybody else. He's been working this for a while. How do I work this thing? Here we go. Sorry, I don't know how to work the internet. Sorry, guys. I don't know where it is. He must have posted it on. I think he must have only posted it on his, not his businesses, which is kind of funny because I do that stuff too. So FTC. All right. So his opening headline on here, I'm going to spend all of about the next 45 seconds here. We're going to zoom way in. Jim Louderbeck. He calls himself the Creator Economy Sherpa. I have no idea what that means. He's talking about the FTC, though, out of the gate. So I immediately heard rings of Gordon. I immediately heard rings of fuzzy logic. And therefore, it was immediately really relevant to me, because I know if it's related to the FTC, it's not only relevant to our friends in YouTube, it's also relevant to podcasters and brand new creatives, etc. So his newsletter alone, if the only thing you get into is the FTC update, will be totally worth your time. Talks a little bit about things like everyone else and TikTok and how dumb it is. Yeah. And some more on sponsorship pricing for 2023. I don't remember exactly what this is, but I think that this bullet is related to Fuck You, Pay Me. There's a business literally called Fuck You, Pay Me, except it's the initials. And it's this former creator, who started an organization to advocate really strongly to make sure creators are paid better. I will get you the reference on that at some point, but I think that's what he's talking about. She ran like a really, really detailed study. She's like us. She's a regular people, but has done really well in the creator industry, and hired some people to help her do a study of how much they were getting paid as creators and how they felt as creators and how safe, like really fundamental questions about what it means to try to exist in an economy. And she charges like $500 to get access to that study result. I got love for it, because that's what academics would do. But they do give away enough information that it is really interesting. He talks all sorts of other stuff. It's really, really long. It's definitely the longest article I've read in some time, but I was glued to it from every scroll. It was so relevant. He talks about Fiverr. He talks about like how to utilize it as a creator to make side cash. Has the podcast version of everything. I mean, it's so dense with hyperlinks that he really doesn't have to go into super big detail. He gives like a really hot take with like 10 to 15 words max, and then throws a hyperlink on it so you can read about it if you want to. It's so, so good. So that's my creator news update, not news of the day. Definitely check out Jim Louderbeck. I reposted it on my LinkedIn, but you can also go to his LinkedIn and get it. Definitely check out his website too. But this article is it's so dense with resource. That's all I got. What do you got for Nexus, Bree?
Well, we had a really cool discussion about it before we came on live, and I think we hit on a point that I hadn't really spoken about. I thought about it, but hadn't really spoken about it, and I like that you brought it up. And that is, what if I'm a creator and I'm not in a network, and what do I do? And can I still be a part of the Nexus? And that answer is absolutely yes, you can. You'll be able, if you want to be part of our network, you certainly are welcome. And if you are looking for a home, we would love to have you. There'll be a lot of other networks on there as well. And so maybe you can find yourself a new home. but we'll have all that information on there for you. And so all of that information should be going out this week. And I'm still in the process of loading some of the networks in, and then we'll have all of the people joining, and it's pretty exciting. So that's what we have going on in the Nexus. It is moving along and tooling along. But yes, if you are not part of a network, we still want you to come hang out with us. So we would love to have you as part of the Nexus, give you more visibility, ways to collaborate with new people, find a new home, a new family to be a part of. So yeah, absolutely. That's it for me. That was it. I'm doing the condensed version today because I know we don't have a lot of time.
Today, the Nexus, and if you want to get in on a sponsorship, those will be available too. They're probably as cheap as they're ever going to be. So if you've ever wanted to sponsor a repository of creator groups, that is to say a group of groups of groups of groups, the most macro sense of the groups until somebody else outdoes us on this, which I'm sure will happen tomorrow. But for now, we are the Nexus of creator groups. So, and by we, I mean Bree's idea, 100%. So she is owning and running with it. So please get a hold of her on one of her many channels. Please get a hold of us on one of our many channels, or email us, which is the worst form of communication, but we do check it sometimes. It's numOspect, NUMOSPECT, numOspect at common leaders, much easier, common leaders with an S.com. Did I do good with that?
That's perfect. Yep. I see Scoobs in the house as well, and a big hi to Topaz. I don't want to forget that they're over there chatting, and Amy is here, of course, and just so glad they're all in the. They're sending greetings to each other, and it's wonderful. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
What you said?
I'm looking at you. Did you write that? I think you wrote that actually. I don't know if that is Scoop. Looks like it copied it. It looks like it copied the Undiscovered Entrepreneur twice in the chat. So that maybe might. I'm not sure where Scoob is, but I know he's busy with stuff.
Do you want to know what it is?
What?
I can explain this mystery. This is not unsolvable. I sometimes click on Scoob's channels when we go live because they're in there. And I mean to usually click off of them before we go too far. So let me do that. But I thought maybe it would be cool for his channels to continue to have some unique activation, because I noticed that he runs like a lot of things on repeat. And so rather than like, I just want to be a part of his
about that on Saturday.
I just want to be a part. Yeah, I just want to be a part of his network and provide in that way, but only with, I thought, like, if it's just the intro and it's just the message, it will send out the notification to his people, and then we can unclick it instead of taking up his people's time or whatever. I thought of all, but then it kind of led me on an interesting thought experiment about doing that in the future with other people too.
Yeah.
Like we could potentially pay. I'm not suggesting that I want to do this right now, but we could potentially pay someone to broadcast